It's a big payback and Hex is on the attack. My heart's bigger than Frank White's Coogee sweater. I stayed for 15 years so I can live better and make love to my wife so my nostrils clearer. Win or losses, anytime I lose I win. Not afraid to take any L's on the chin. This grown man business, you need to bear witness and exercise more physical fitness. I play for long distance. Don't ever serve me any 2 pieces of chicken without the biscuits. And give me the gravy or something light like turkey. But I'm not gonna sleep mental formaldehyde. I'm tougher than cowhide, and when you see me, don't say hi. Peace to the people that get high, who wanna open their spiritual chambers with the third eye. Osiris meets Einstein, theoretical relativity. Atlantis is fine wine. They say you can't walk on water, but that's out of order, because the ancient orders know that secret life is to live longer than shorter. But I'm a little part, so where's my water? Tell them one more time. They say you can't walk on water, but that's out of order, because the ancient orders know the secret to life is to live longer than shorter. But I'm a little parched, so where's my water? What's going on, everybody? It's the Crypto Wonder, your host of the Crypto Wonder podcast. Hope you're doing well. And let's get right into it. So, it seems like YouTube banned Richard Hart, like for real this time. You know, and that's kind of crazy. It really, really is. But it shows you all of us, you know, who create content, if we rub somebody the wrong way, that's it. We out of here. We don't own these channels. I've been saying this for a while. We don't own these channels. And what was he saying that warranted him getting his channel pulled? What was he really saying? You know? It's happened before, and you know, it won't be the last. And so right now, people, all they have right now is Telegram, Twitter, of course, and even Instagram, I guess, to reach out, or at least remain abreast and updated on what's going on with Richard and the cryptos he's you know, created and creating. It sucks. I gotta tell you, the censorship is just, it's through the roof. And while I'm talking to you, you know, you all now, I mean, it looked like, I mean, if Twitter cuts him off too, I hope not. I hope not. I hope not. That's going to be very telling. That's going to be very telling. He might mess around. He might mess around and add creating a decentralized platform on his to-do list after he creates another version of MetaMask. Even though we do have decentralized platforms, you know, that people use or can be used that are available. Folks don't care for them. Those are just the backups. Those are like backups. So people don't, you know, want to lose their material should they get cut off from YouTube. But who really uses Odyssey and Library and BitChute, Float? Who really uses those? A minuscule amount of people. People gravitate to YouTube because YouTube is the machine. YouTube has the largest reach. So that's where folks want to create their material and create their content. I mean, why not? But we see what this centralized conglomerate has done and can do. They could just take your channel with no warning, nothing. I'm serious. I mean, it's happened. Sure, there's you know, things are identified in the terms of service or terms of conditions, whatever they want to call it. how many of us have really read through the fine print? And then on top of that, I know people personally who have gotten their channels down, struck down without even a strike, without even having one community strike. After three, it's a problem, right? After three strikes is a problem. But there's some people that have had the channels just taken down at whim, like whatever. And you'll never really even know why. All the time. This happens all the time. And it's crazy now. While everyone is waiting for everyone who knows about pulsechain and who's actually sacrificed for pulsechain is waiting for this thing to drop, to launch. People who always remain attuned to what Richard is saying on his live streams, and to have that cut off is a disservice. Excuse me. It's a huge disservice. Big time. Big time. Twitter is not the same as YouTube. We know this. Yeah, he doesn't stream as often, but still, it's a stream. This is what he was doing. This is, it's sad. It's just a reflection of what's going on and what's been going on with these entities. When they do not like you, they'll do whatever they can to silence you, to remove you. They just Alex Jones, Richard Hart, yo. I mean, it's been days, like a week almost. At the time of this recording, I think it's almost a week. So that shows you, this is why, I'm not careful. It's not that I'm not careful. They could take your channel. I don't act as if I own this channel. Like this is something I own, that only I control, because I don't. And I don't see how other people don't realize that. Ever since YouTube Apocalypse, when the issues came out with the largest YouTuber at the time, PewDiePie, and the debauchery that followed with shutting channels down and changing the rules on when you could monetize, when you can't, what you should say, how, advertisements were just removed because they didn't care for people who were doing nefarious things, creating nefarious content, and how, these advertising companies, which translates to money, they didn't want to have their products or services on nefarious streams. So everyone had to pay for that. This was years ago. This started years ago. What, 2017, 18? And there were ripple effects ever since, especially with crypto. I know every year for the past, since 17, there have been moments where just, all of a sudden it's just a bunch of people just got their channels cut in crypto, just got it cut. That's it. Folks got it, and that's when, people had to back up, use again the decentralized apps. Well, I don't care for those things like that. People don't, folks are looking for just, entertainment. People just want to meddle with your peace. People always want to disturb your peace. Well, all these things just for me, it just forces me to know I have to just kind of excuse me, practice what I preach and live my life. Being glued to these devices and, social media and wanting to be, entertained or remain informed of what's going on with this crypto. Listen. You get lost in the madness a lot. And look what happens when they cut people off. They shut down their channels altogether, And I'm not saying people in general. I'm talking about, the founder right now. The founder of these products that everybody's waiting for. Well, we have Hex, but, pulsechain, pulsex, come on. Come on. And there's still drama going on in the community. It's crazy, but there still is. It's crazy what's going on. I'm gonna say this with respect to the opposing sides of stuff that people don't agree with, you know the projects that are coming out with respect to pulsechain and projects that are coming out that are supposed to enhance hex, right? Supposed to basically just you know just protect the token of hex and just help with price appreciation for the long term. A lot of these things, people could say all they want, including me. I could say a lot, but that's just all it's left to, just words. Because if I'm criticizing, well, which I have, but I have to also be real. I have to check myself too, right? If I'm criticizing activities and movements that people are making in the community, then my thing is if I could do something better, then I should do it. Instead of talking, I need to be about it. You know, that's why I don't really talk about whatever too much, because again, if I don't agree with something, I don't have to engage. And that's with anything. If I don't agree with X, Y, and Z, I don't have to engage. If I agree, I can engage. Either way, it's my business. It's no one's business. Because it goes back to the whole thing again. You have to make the decision that's best for you. No one can tell you what you can or can't do or can get involved with. But when I see things like mountain crypto advisors, right? It generated a lot of criticism. A lot of criticism. But my thing is, if, and it remains to be seen, just like with everything else, time will prove the worth and the value that these projects and these companies and these entities that are being created will bring. If I could do something better, then I need to be quiet and do something better. But I don't know, because the thing about it is, even the founder always says, Richie Rich, he always says, you want to see something happen, you do it. You want to see something, you want to see a change, you do the work. Yes, you'll be faced with, resistance, because you can't make everyone happy. You'll always be faced with the resistance or something of some kind of adversarial nature. Always, in whatever you do. But if you see something that there could very well be a need, then do it. Create it. Sometimes you in a situation, I don't know, like I remember like in certain circles that I used to run in, well, not even, but basic different jobs, right? And it's kind of like a startup and whatever, and then you come up with an idea, and because you came up with the idea, you're left with the responsibility of fulfilling and completing that idea. You're left with the responsibility. That's how it feels. This is what happens. This is what's happening here. Because you also got to think, like, one person can't do everything. And it goes back to something I was saying in a previous video. It's the whole, some people, half empty, half full kind of situation. The cup is half empty, the cup is half full. Where, okay, you're in the middle. You have to decide what you're going to do, what works for you and what doesn't. But I got to at least give an A for effort. If people are trying to create something that's trying, to address a need or to even help the community in the long run, it's easy for me to tear that down. It's easy to tear it down. And why is it so hard to just appreciate the efforts? And it's more than just about having good intentions. Because you know what they say, the road to hell was paved with good intentions. It's not about intentions. It's about applying the effort to address a need, to allow these things to work for the betterment of everyone involved. I support that. It's not to say I'm going to dig in my pockets in my intangible wallet and just, invest in whatever. No, it's the whole thing of applying the effort, your best foot forward to make something happen. And because if not, then I'll be a hypocrite. If all I'm going to do is yell, 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 fight, 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 increase heart rate, blood pressure, for what? For what? When this is about making money, and not only making money, but being smart and building resources around this opportunity to make money so that you can continue to receive the passive income and protect and preserve for generations to come. Like that, you have the choice to do it on your own, and then there's opportunity or alternatives to have somebody else do it for you. We know that's against what crypto's all about. No third parties, no middleman, no nothing. You're supposed to you govern yourself. Going back to the whole sovereignty philosophy. Your own bank. You have your private keys. You make the decisions. No one's going to tell you what to do, how to do, when to do, why to do, But some people are not like that. Some people can't do that. Even in crypto, people can't handle. It's too much responsibility to be your own bank. For some people, they just can't. You're going to knock those people if they want to use help, if they want to use a third party. So many things we forget. Again, it's like carrying over to what I was talking about in my previous episode. For you to onboard and offboard, we have to go through hoops, jump through hoops, and deal with third parties. That's what we have to do. When you see something like a trust, that's a moment to educate. That's a moment to learn. That's a moment to obtain the knowledge of what's out here. We could easily frown. I could easily say, man, forget about all that, man. Are you crazy, man? Blah, blah, blah. I'm not doing no third party. Middleman, crypto's peer-to-peer. It's peer. Yeah. But then I'm closing my scope and my viewpoint in learning about what's available, in learning about how these people, there's been a segment of individuals on this planet who have been protecting their resources for generations. And why can't we have that information and that tool to use the way we see fit? Or we may not use it, but we have the information, we have the knowledge. I'd love to be able to never sell and still live off of what I own. Like, that's power. That is power. And if that's what's being created to lend people a choice, to lend people another choice, a resource, then, hey, who am I to judge? Who am I to judge? Who am I to judge? Because I had a different viewpoint based on the fact that a lot of people have been scammed in crypto, including me. And I just am not in the sport of continually just to lose. I don't want to lose. Who wants to lose their crypto all the time? Who wants to get scammed? Who wants to do something? Oh, gone, and it's gone. To never be able to recover it again. Irreversible things. People scam, taking money, all kinds of stuff. It happens every day. Every day. So because I've suffered this type of post-traumatic stress disorder dealing with crypto, you know, I guess I got some control issues I gotta address. That's just me though. Control and just being just leery about just believing anything and anybody doing out here. Because that's what it is. A lot of folks of y'all that are new, you're lucky, but at the same time, you're faced with a lot of stuff, a lot more than what was available in 2017. There's so much more going on now. So this is why you got to keep things simple, in my opinion. I'm not your advisor of any financial level at all. You do your own research and you make the decisions based on the decisions you make. You create your own calculated risk. That's it. But just like I was wrong thinking that Hex was a scam, I thought it was. And I was completely wrong. I had to update and expand my narrow-mindedness. It's the same way these things have to be applied to other things. And I know it's hard for many people because I've been there. I've been there where I was just like focused on just very, very few things. After I tried to do a lot, I got into crypto. It was an open playground. And I got burned in most of the things I got involved with. Most. And then I learned. I said, oh no, I'm going to stick to what works for me. Because what works for me may not necessarily work for someone else. It's a solo sport. What works for me may not necessarily work for someone else. And you learn. You make mistakes. And you learn. And then when issues come up again, you know how to respond so you could avoid making those same errors. But to go back to the whole thing of what the people are trying to create in the system, I mean, it's growth. It's about evolution. It's about change. And people are resistant to change. There's certain things I know I'm resistant to change too, but it's a part of life. That's something we cannot control, change. We can't control how we age right now. As far as technology hasn't gotten to that point, but you know what I mean. We age every second that goes by. Our bodies change. We can't control that. Change is a part of life. So we have to apply some of this to certain understandings and things that folks are creating. People are racking their brain to discover what we can't even fathom right now. People are racking their brain to create things that we can't even fathom right now. Right? To help address certain issues long term. Because what I see what's going on is, like, as far as with crypto, we know the government, we know these banks, they can't get rid of it. So they're trying to, do whatever they can, in my opinion, to make things as uncomfortable as possible for folks who use crypto. But even that is going to end up being a stalemate, in my opinion, because technology is moving at a rapid pace. Technology advances too quickly for these oligarchs to try to stop, to try to control, to try to interfere, and even to try to slow down. It's off to the races. Whatever they tried to do, whatever they wanted to do, they lost their chance with Bitcoin. They lost their chance. They couldn't shut that down. All the world's supercomputers, like let's say in Bitcoin, for example, in its infancy, 2009, 2010, if everyone really saw, well, everyone, I'm not saying everyone, if the powers that were against it really knew what they were facing, they could have just, I guess, me and my imagination, used all the supercomputers of the world and shut down the network effects, shut down the blockchain, or reduce the network effects of Bitcoin. Today, it's just every day that goes by, the network goes stronger and stronger. And that Ethereum is following suit. Hex is following suit. Pulsechain soon when it launches will follow suit. So it's like if you can't beat them, they're going to have to join us. But it goes back to another thing that I was talking about. It seems like we still have to work with what's available out here outside of crypto to just, I don't know, keep the peace. I don't know. If crypto was developed out of hardship, out of oppression, out of this devilish, it's not of a religious connotation either, but out of these corrupt practices that these bankers have done for an untold amount of time. Crypto was created to revolt against these things and give the power to the people, right? From these central banks and these governments to the people. And then now we get into a point where we try to like enmesh ourselves with, I don't know, maybe that's just another sign of evolution. Maybe. All right? Peace and war, right? Dualities of life. You can't have one without the other. You can't have peace. You can't have war without peace. You can't have peace without war. You hot and cold, two polar opposites joining together. But the whole thing is just having an understanding and, being, I guess, aware enough to say, okay, this is for me, this isn't for me, and keep it moving. But it's too much drama. It's too much drama with name calling, and folks are just, my goodness, is it because Hex has, been at a dip for 6-7 months? Is this is how people act, I guess? Is this the reflection of that? And then the crazy thing about it is I could understand new people are coming into the space. They're panicking. They're afraid. They're upset. They're worried. I get it. But those of us who've been in crypto, those of us who've been in crypto, we should know better. It'd be like completely vetted and experienced it with these painful dips. My goodness. I mean, we just went through a 3-year bear market from 18 to 2021, or the beginning or the end of 2020. A 3-year bear market from January 16, I would say 2018, because that's when BitConnect stopped their operations and the market followed suit, because everything would drop severely and then the market followed suit, and that bear winter lasted for 2+ years. Oh, I want to say even 3 years, to the end, from the beginning of 18, January 18, to the end, to like November, December 2020. There you go. And then in between, you had, what folks would call the COVID dip in March 11 of 2020 or so. The COVID dip. And all these other dips. Bitcoin 85+%, Ethereum 95+% decrease. The whole market red for years. If you've been through that and you saw what happened soon after that with the short bull run that we had, and how people just changed their life, including folks who were in Hex, life-changing experience, life-changing earnings. This is another opportunity. This is another opportunity right now to accumulate. Because what goes up comes down and goes right back up again. That time is going to come again. And then you're going to look at this period. You're going to look at this period and say why you should have, could have, would have. And you're going to kick yourself. And why go through that mental struggle, that emotional a drama? Why put yourself through that? If it's too much and you can't accumulate, leave what you have, for example, because I'm not giving you advice, but I'm saying, if you got a bag and you bought at the top or close to the top and you suffering a 70-75% dip, 80% dip, and you know what you have, you believe in, come back in 6 months. Come back. And if it's 6 months, things are still looking crazy and wacky like it's looking now, come back in a year. Because you know it's going to go up. And when it goes up, it's beautiful. Everybody's going to be on a high again. That's how it happens. Everyone's going to be euphoric, elated, all beef out the window. Everybody going to be damn near humping each other. Proverbially. Like it's crazy. All is going to be good again. All is going to be good. But this is what happens. This is what happens. No, you can't have the gains without experiencing the pain. And is it really painful like that? I mean, really? The people, including me, I did a thing today. I said, when pulsechain, whatever. It's just whatever. I'm not on it every day. Like, oh, when pulsechain, pulse. You'll be miserable. There's a whole life we have out here to experience, people. Put the devices down, walk away from it. Don't get engaged in Twitter drama, because that does not help any situation. It just increases your heart rate. It affects your mood. You feel away. You say you don't care, but in all reality, it bothers you enough for you to say you don't care. So it's like, what good comes out of that? I could say that, yeah, I don't care. Yeah, I do care. That's why I'm saying I don't care. I care enough to say I don't care. End of story. Nothing more to talk about. That's not that, all that drama, all that negative energy does not translate well where it's fruitful, where I have all my bills paid, because it's negative, toxic energy from the internet, because I'm not getting what I want, is helping me pay my bills. No, it's not. It's not. Put the stuff away, enjoy life, do something you enjoy. That's how I see it, like as far as health. Because this is about health. Well, we got into crypto to be mad, to create fights. Who cares what people are doing? Focus on what you got going on. And people still want to be entangled in drama. We have a long way to go. We have a long way to go. I don't know what it's going to take for folks to realize that, instead of expending so much energy where it's not needed, the focus should be on more important things, whatever that means to you, whether it's yourself, whether it's your loved ones, whether it's, whatever. Not on these devices, clouding your brain and judgment, and not judgment, but clouding your brain and ingesting just poisonous information and stuff, drama, theatrics. It's just not. I get the entertainment factor, but after a while, it's no longer entertaining anymore. It's just old. It's just old, and you're like, all right, moving on. I've seen streamers even say they're tired. Streamers are like tired of even following each other. Streamers in the community have expressed on their channels that they are tired of listening to other members in the community with the drama and with talking about religion and all these different things that got nothing to do with what we're dealing with at hand. And I could understand it. I could understand it. I could understand it. But please, look, anything can happen. Like, you gotta keep like I always say, you gotta take care of yourself and try to keep things as simple as possible, for yourself and your well-being. And I get it. It's hard. You're seeing Hex at 10 cents. You bought at 40, 45, 50 cents, and you seen this thing at 10 cents, and you held on to this long. Hey, it's grueling. It's grueling. But if you staking, you earning, right? If you're in it for the long haul, it shouldn't be painful at all. You shouldn't even have to think about price. Everything goes up and down. And I say this all the time. How's your dollar bill doing today compared to what it was doing a year ago or 2 years ago and 3 years ago? How much can you buy with that same dollar? a piece of paper that's been devalued for decades, that's losing value, right? Versus an asset that you own that can be life changing in a much quicker, shorter period of time. Because it's all about the numbers, it's all about the math, it's all about what's taking place here as far as technology. It's not hard to figure out. I just thought, man, maybe I made a mistake. I thought that Hex was going to get to a point, if it continues to move the way it does, that it's going to basically envelop so much of the economic energy that currently exists. I just didn't think that. I thought it was going to do that as far as swallow all of the economic volume of energy that exists. I don't know if it's going to happen in our lifetime, but should it continue on its trajectory, just by virtue of how it works, just by virtue of math, what it shows you, that it can swallow up everything that we know, all the economic power that exists. I just thought that was going to take place separately, apart from legacy. So maybe that was wrong on my part. But time will tell. Just like with everything else, time will tell. And that's it. That's it, man. Enjoy life. Enjoy life. Tomorrow's not promised, people. Every moment, it should be cherished. That's it. That's it, in my opinion. In any case, I'll talk to you all later. I hope you remain well always. And I'll catch you on the next one.